right, guys. So I thought it would be fun to talk about strategy. I actually love strategy. A lot of people don't, but I do. And I thought we could talk about marketing strategy for this year since we are in the first week of January. And I wanted to just kind of focus on the first 2 quarters because that'll be the foundation for the rest of the year. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right, so this is what I was talking about. We want to set up the foundation in Q1 and Q2. And the point would be to get you in the habit of doing regular marketing and put together systems that will make it easier for you. And then after that, you can grow from there. Today is going to focus on social media, email marketing, and reviews for Q1 and Q2. And then, there are lots of resources out there for people that don't want to do this themselves once you have a strategy. And if you do need any resources, I have a few resources that I can share with you. You can contact me. It's not me, by the way. Okay, so for social media, the first thing, and I've talked about this before, is really to identify your ideal client. May not be the people that you're actually working with right now. In fact, in a lot of cases, you may be working with people just to get anybody in your pipeline, but really it's good for you to identify who you actually want to work with. If you have a specialty that you want to focus on, and really get to know who they are. Like if you love working with seniors, you might like empty nesters or people that are looking to downsize or right size. Maybe you love first-time home buyers because they're fun and eager and whatever. But you really want to know who would you like to get more of? What clients would you like to get more of? And then you can focus your marketing on them. So you're going to want to know like what their demographic, where do they hang out? What keeps them up at night? What do they want? What are things they enjoy? Do they have families? That type of thing, just to kind of get yourself in the head of your ideal client. And the reason we like to do this is because the more you know who that person is and what they look like, the better you can craft any of your messaging that you put out there on social media. And the better you craft your messaging, then the more people are likely to know, like, and trust you, which is the foundation for people doing business with people for the first time. And then this one is probably old school in some ways, identifying your farm, which is the area that you want to focus on, like a neighborhood or a zip code. You're going to get referrals from people outside of that area, but you always want to have kind of a home base where you really want to focus and become a specialist. So not to say that you're not going to take the people that are, out of town or whatever, but you just want to definitely have an area that you'd like to be your primary focus for when you do your marketing. And then if you know where it is, then you can create the content based on that area. So I'll give you an example. If you are in Willow Glen, for example, like that's your area you really want to focus on in Willow Glen, then all of your content should be based on things that residents or people that want to be residents of Willow Glen are interested in. And that way it is good for as far as providing information and helping them understand the neighborhood, what's going on and whatnot. And it is more than just leaving flyers on doorsteps and what I'm talking about, because we're talking about social media, but I still want to just plug that it's still a good idea to leave flyers on doorsteps. And you'll become known as an area expert. And that is really important for you because when people think of a particular area, a lot of times a realtor comes to mind instantly. Like they know, oh yeah, that person handles that area. And you want to be that person for the area that you're farming. And your posts should mean something to the people that live there or want to live there. And the reason that is important is because a lot of noise is out there on social media. It's just ridiculous now. And so if you're sharing stuff that to them is just noise, they're just gonna scroll right past it. But if you're known to share things that mean something to them about the area, things they're interested in, then they're more likely to stop and consume it, and then hopefully like, comment, and share on it. And so really the first step in that process is to review, build, and or refresh your social pages. So a lot of you probably have the social pages set up. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't freak out. You can still build them. But it's important to go back at least once a year, if not more, because there's always changes that the platforms are making, and just refresh them, make sure that everything's up to date. So first, I would suggest that you pick 1 or 2 platforms that you absolutely want to nail this year. People think they need to be on every single one of them, and I just don't agree with that. I think it's more important to really get a following on at least one platform that you really understand and you are comfortable with and you can be consistent on, and nail that before you move to other platforms, because you'll get overwhelmed and you'll think it's too much work and you won't do it. And then those platforms that you want to focus on, then you want to review and refresh what you already have set up if you have anything set up. If you don't, you just start and you go through the process and make sure that you have the basics covered on those pages. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't have relevant and current information on their social pages. And what would that mean if somebody goes to contact you and they get the wrong email, or you're with a different brokerage now? So you want to really make sure that all of the information is correct. Is your headshot correct? I know a lot of people have old headshots on a lot of the different platforms, and God forbid, some people don't even have a headshot. But if you want to be known, liked, and trust, then you're going to have a headshot, because that's the first impression they have of you. And of course, your contact information, making sure that everywhere it shows up that it's correct, and that your license information is correct. And anywhere that you've listed your brokerage or any other business information, you want to make sure that that's all current and correct wherever you have it. And then a lot of the different platforms now have a banner feature that goes behind your headshot at the top of the platform. I know like LinkedIn and Twitter and even Google and Facebook, they all have banners. So it's, if you don't have a banner, there's a generic banner and it looks really kind of cheesy in my opinion. So you want to get a banner that represents you. It's not hard at all. You can just go get a stock media photo and slap it up there, make sure that it's in the right section of showing whatever it is you want to show, even if it's just a house or something, that's fine. Just make sure there's something that represents you that you feel you'd like to show people. And then making sure that each platform that you're on, that people know how to reach you. Facebook has a different varieties of call to action buttons. So one might be email, one might be schedule, one might be sign up. Those are different call to action buttons that are right on your business page. And each of the platforms have a similar thing like that. So you want to make sure that that people know how to quickly and easily get a hold of you. And as I go through the next few months, I'll be talking about each platform again, like I did last year, and I'll be able to tell you how it works on each of those platforms. So don't stress too much about that right now. Okay. Then you're going to need a content plan, because what good is a social page if you're not active on it? And the first step is to identify what kind of content you want to share. Like, what do you think your audience would like? And then how often? I think 2 to 3 times a week is minimum, but you have to do what you can commit to do and actually do. So if 1 time a week is the only time you can ever post, that's better than nothing. Okay. So, but you want to be working up to being really consistent, because your followers, as they grow, they're going to be watching for your posts. If you're doing good content, they're going to be looking for it. And if you have old stuff on there and you haven't posted for 3 weeks, then you're likely to lose them. Plus the algorithms that are on each of the social pages, they look at how often you post and how many people actually consume and engage with your content. So you want to make sure to be consistent and to tweak it as you see how people engage. So if somebody really liked a particular post, then think about how you can do something similar next time. I think videos on the phone are the quickest and easiest way to get content on any of the social pages. And people accept that you're doing it on your phone. It's no longer required to be a beautifully produced piece of art. It's really just getting to know you. And when you do something just quick, like maybe you're at a listing appointment and you want to do a quick shout out to the people that you're speaking with, or a quick like pan around of the property that you're going to be listing. Or you have an open house and you can just say, hey, I'm preparing for my open house. And, it doesn't have to be any big thought out thing. And people actually like that better. They like it when you are natural.
Can I intervene?
Yeah.
Okay, so and I'm a part of EXP2, just a different location up in Rockland, and we use this idea as well whenever we have open houses and stuff. Video is a great way to speak to your audience on Facebook or other social media platforms, but also whenever you get a lead, send them a video. Be like, hey, my name's Teresa. I'm a realtor here in the area, and I would love to talk to you. What time do you have tomorrow? Let's meet and have coffee. It's the face to face, being able to put a face to a name that really helps get the lead, so to speak.
Right, good point. Thanks, Teresa. All right. And then whenever you create anything, you want to think about adding value for your followers. It's not necessarily about you. It's really about what they want. And they want to know, things about their area. They want to know how they can be better at investing or finding a home or fixing up their current home or all of the things that are interesting to them. They don't really care if you're a top producer. Like, that's one of the things I think is kind of funny. People a lot of times will, put all over their social that they're a top producer. And I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate your wins and be successful, but those are a part of that noise that I was talking about earlier. They just want to know, what do you know and how can you help them? And by being a top producer, that shows your success, obviously. But I don't think that's the stuff that they're looking for when you're putting content on your page. That's just kind of my opinion. And then I wrote a book a few years ago, and it's old, but it still has a lot of really good ideas. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. It's just a PDF download. You guys are welcome to it. And I'll also put it on the website. And then I will share with you next week content resource that I've been developing that will make it fast and easy for you to get your social media under control and look like an expert. All right, so the final thing with this Q1 is you want to commit. It's easiest for me to schedule a time each week on my calendar, which I recommend for you too, where you commit to set whatever you need to do for that week's particular marketing. Now, if you do use a platform for marketing, then you can schedule it all in one sitting, and then maybe it's only one morning for the whole month. But I always have it on my calendar for every Monday. It's my marketing Monday, and it's 10 to 12 in the mornings. So if you can do something like that, that'll help you be consistent. And this is what I was just talking about. You can schedule. There are platforms out there that you can just put all of your posts, schedule them out so that you don't have to do it. It's like a set it and forget it. And that I do recommend the Social for Real Estate platform for that. And then just commit that you want to do this for yourself and for your business. I really think that once you get in the habit of it, it becomes easier and it just kind of becomes second nature. And I don't want you to have false expectations. Social media is a long haul. It takes time to build your audience and to build the trust. But if you provide great content, you're consistent, and you engage when your followers engage, then you will have success and it will help you in the long run. All right, so moving on to Q2, I'm going to focus on email marketing and reviews. And you can do a newsletter for email marketing very easy with a free MailChimp account. You can have up to 2,000 subscribers on that email account before you have to pay for it. Of course, if you wanted some of the more advanced features, then you can pay for a pro account right away. And it's based on how many people you have. So you start with like 500 if you're paying for a pro account. You start with 500, then it's like $12 a month or something like that. And you do get a few more features like additional templates and stuff, some functionality. And then easily gather all of your contacts. You could probably export it from your email or from your phone list, contact list, and get them into MailChimp. And I would consider adding people that are not only current and past clients, but also your partners. So title reps, mortgage loan officers that you work with, etc. And then I've done this in the past a lot, is you can go into LinkedIn and to target some of the people that you'd really like to have on your list, and you can go in and get their emails. It used to be that you could export their emails as part of your connection list, but LinkedIn put the kibosh on that. So you have to go in one by one and get them, or use a artificial intelligence tool to get them, which is also possible. And if you want more information on that, I can tell you about that. And then just start with a monthly newsletter. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very basic. You just pick a template inside MailChimp, pick 1 or 2 things that you want to share that month, and just make sure that you make it about them so that they're more likely to open it and read it. And then if you have budget, I would recommend talking to Mr. Bill Quell here on the Zoom call. He's pretty much an expert in all things email. Right, Bill?
Yeah, and a deep expert. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, great. And then reviews. So reviews are really important. I think people overlook it. And I really think that the power of social proof is, it could make or break the person making a deal with you or wanting to work with you. So get as much social proof as you can. And then the great thing is you can use it everywhere. You can have it on your webpage, whether you have your own website or on our BRG page. You can use it in your newsletters. You can post it on your social media. You can put it in your profiles on social media. There's just a lot of ways that you can repurpose it and get as much bang for your buck out of getting any reviews and all reviews. And the other thing is Google likes reviews. So even if you don't have your own website, then if you are getting a lot of reviews, you can still show up in a Google search if you have reviews, especially if they're on Google. And so how to get reviews? You want to pick a platform and stick to it. The free ones that I recommend are Google My Business or your Facebook business page. And there are other paid platforms like Reach 150. There's a few other platforms that offer other ways to get reviews that make it convenient and easy. But I think that if you're just starting out, just go for Google My Business or your Facebook business page, and we'll go over how to get a Google My Business page. If you don't have one, that'll be in a future training. And then you want to just pick the platform that you're comfortable with and stick with it. And then just email or text your contacts with a link to that page and request a review. Sometimes people aren't sure what to say. So if they may ask you, well, what do you want me to focus on? Or you might say, like if they say, oh, I don't know what to say, then you could say something like, can you just really explain how helpful I was during the process of listing and staging your house or whatever? You can guide them when they ask you questions about what to say on their review. And don't just think about clients, think about other partners like we talked about before for your email list. Think about anybody who's worked with you. And those are valid. Those are people that will do it for you, especially if you reciprocate. Or better yet, you can write a review for one of those partners first and then ask them for a review in return. And you'd be surprised at how many people are willing to do that.
Wonderful.
Pardon?
Thank you.
I have a couple of resources here, just different things that might be helpful to get started. And if you have any questions about this, I'll ask Brian for the recording and we'll get it on the resources page, the one that's not password protected on the website. And I'll also put the 223 content ideas on both spots. Okay, so that's it. I think there might be some questions, but I'm going to escape out of my sharing here.